When someone badly injures you in an accident, you may be wondering if you need to hire a lawyer. I'm going to use 2 real case stories to show you when you need to hire an accident lawyer and when you don't. It's crucial to know this because if you hire a personal injury lawyer when you don't need one, it could be the biggest financial mistake of your life. On the other hand, if you don't hire a lawyer when you should, it could lead to your financial ruin. The internet is filled with comments of people who regret not hiring a lawyer after their accident. To explain the first situation that determines whether you'll need a lawyer, let's look at Frank's case. Frank was recovering from a leg surgery when he slipped and fell in a store in Florida. Although this is a slip and fall case, this lesson applies to car accident cases and all types of personal injury cases. As a result of his fall, his leg pain was so bad that he couldn't get up off the floor. Paramedics rushed him in an ambulance to the hospital, and then he got some bad news. The doctor told him that he'd need a skin graft. Doctors put him under anesthesia and they surgically put healthy skin over the damaged skin. His injury was one that would require months of wound care, and that meant that he was more likely to have to sue. This is the first situation where you're better off hiring a lawyer. It's whether you'll likely need to sue to get money for your medical bills, lost income, and pain and suffering. You won't have to sue in every case, but in many cases you will. And if you'll likely need to sue, you're going to be much better off with a lawyer. You'll be better off for 2 reasons. The first reason is that most accident victims have no idea how to sue. And it's understandable because courts aren't set up to make it easy for you to sue. You have to file detailed documents or the judge will dismiss your case. And if you think that you can just call the courthouse and get help, you'd be wrong. If you call the court, you're likely to be put on eternal hold. And even if you're lucky enough to speak with court staff, you'll be disappointed to learn that they can't give you legal advice. Suing for personal injury is complicated. I say this after handling personal injury cases for 19 years. Now, if you have a minor injury and you don't need much medical treatment, you may not need to sue. In that instance, you may not need a lawyer. However, I need to give you a word of caution. Don't automatically assume that your injury is small. I once represented a client after a truck hit him. He broke his knee and had surgery. I asked the doctor's assistant if the doctor thought that his injury was permanent. The assistant said,
"Haha, you must be joking."
Well, the joke was on her because I ended up settling my client's case for over $425,000. This leads me to the second question that you need to ask yourself to know whether you should hire an accident lawyer. To explain, let's look at Madeline's case. While carrying tiles from her trunk to the back seat of her car, Madeline tripped over something in the grass. Although this is a trip and fall case, the point of the story also applies to car accident cases and all types of accident claims. When Madeline tripped, her body went forward, but her ankle remained in place. She fell to the ground and had intense pain. She couldn't get up. Someone called 911. Paramedics rushed Madeline to the hospital. There, doctors gave her some bad news. Madeline broke 2 bones in her ankle. To make matters worse, the doctor told her that she'd need surgery. Doctors cut her ankle open and drilled a plate and screws into 2 of her leg bones. Do you know the 2 pieces of evidence that Madeline needed to request and preserve to prove her case? If you're saying to yourself,
"No, I have no idea what these 2 pieces of evidence she needed,"
then you should hire a personal injury lawyer. In a moment, I'll tell you what the 2 pieces of evidence that Madeline needed to request and preserve. But first, let me explain something about building your case so that you hopefully get a bigger settlement. In a personal injury claim, you quickly need to preserve evidence to prove your case. Sometimes 1 piece of evidence can be the difference between you getting a big settlement and nothing at all. The insurance company for the at-fault party knows what you need to preserve, but they're not going to tell you. They're not going to help you prove your case. Because if they do, the insurance company will owe you more money, and that's the last thing they want to do. If you don't request and preserve evidence, it vanishes forever, and then you'll lose your case, which means you'll be stuck with mounting medical bills and lost income. The first piece of evidence that Madeline needed to request and preserve was the 911 call recording. It's important to quickly request this because some 911 call centers permanently delete the 911 call quickly. I know this because some accident victims have hired me, and when we request the 911 call recording, we learn that it's been permanently deleted. This can cause your case to be worthless. Madeline hired me and we quickly requested the 911 audio call. On it, you could hear Madeline say,
"Miami-Dade County Police."
Trying to put something in my car, and I stepped over something that
wasn't stable like I felt.
Okay, paramedics are on the way.
This was great for her case. It helped her prove that shortly after her accident, she said that something was wrong with the property that caused her to fall. Insurance companies give more credit to your statement that's taken shortly after the accident. One reason for this is because shortly after your accident, you're more likely to tell the truth. The second piece of evidence that Madeline needed to request was the thing that she tripped on. She also needed to send a letter to the property owner asking them to preserve the area and the irrigation control valve or its cap that she tripped on. Now, if you knew to quickly send a request to preserve those two pieces of evidence, you're less likely to need a lawyer. But if you didn't, then you should speak with the lawyer for your case. And when you do so, you need to ask the lawyer certain questions before you hire them. Asking these questions may save you lots of money and reduce your stress greatly. To find out the best questions to ask an accident lawyer, watch this video here or click on the link in the description below. And if you're seriously injured in Florida or on a cruise and you think that someone else may be at fault, click on the link in the description below to see if I can represent you.